Support for Radio Friends comes from Homestead Senior Care, providing trustworthy, kind-hearted senior home care services in your loved one's home. All caregivers are thoroughly screened, extensively trained, professional, and reliable. Homestead is all about providing the highest quality home care service to fit you and your family's needs. Plus, if you would be interested in becoming a caregiver, they offer great part-time positions. Give them a call at 573-442-4333 or check it out at homestead.com. Good morning and welcome to Radio Friends on Thursday, May 30th. My friend LOIS Long is with us. LOIS is with the Alzheimer's Association, but today we're going to talk about just caregiving in general, right?
Yes. I volunteer, and in my 30-some years, I've met hundreds of people that are caregivers. And these are the persons in the support group that my friend and I facilitate every month that we need to recognize where their passion comes from in care and giving. And so that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about today, because I think if you break it down and you look at care, there's a lot of ways we can care. And it's not necessarily when someone cannot do anything for themselves, but it starts with recognizing in our communications and our daily life that we are changing, and the person that maybe we have lived with needs more care than they did 10 years ago. And figuring out in the communication how to give that is what a caregiver's role may be. It's what their challenge may be, because as the person, let's say with dementia, like Alzheimer's, changes, so does the caregiver's life, because we're all aging.
Right.
And whether it's a relationship with a dog we've had for 17 years that is getting old and less able to do what dogs need to do, whenever all this relationship changes, it really makes a difference. And so I sort of wanted to define care and giving and how important the relationship and the communication is today.
Sure. One thing that's involved is in the caregiving is giving of love and giving of understanding. Right. And you mentioned it's important to listen.
Indeed.
That was the first thing you said to
Right.
me. You said, you got to listen. And what do you mean by that?
Well, I enjoy writing poetry, and I think I will share, if that's okay, the poem I've written about listening.
Okay.
It's called An Invitation. Listen to silence. Hear its music. Invite joy into your heart. Be present. Be open. Let the presence live in you. Cradle pain. Hold one another. Let worry drift away. Stop talking. Stop your hurry. Just listen. Wait. Silence will speak. Silence to silence.
I like that. Can I have a copy of that?
It's yours.
Oh, thank you. That's really beautiful, and that's pretty profound. Stop and listen. Silence. That's something that we've sort of given up in this day and age, is just silence. Sitting down, being quiet, not having to have something on, some outside communication, but just being with yourself and someone you love.
Right. And you have to practice this.
Yes,
It's
you
like
do.
meditation. It's a form of meditation. And I believe that's the essence of trying to be caring and giving, is to give your attention and listen to one another.
Sometimes I would imagine that if you're a caregiver and you're taking care of someone that you love, just sitting, being quiet with that person and holding their hand and looking at each other does as much as anything can do.
Indeed. And I think some other things that are important is giving young people, like children, the opportunity to be in a relationship with an older person, because you can't imagine what the delight is in a nursing facility when a group of preschoolers come in. They don't have to do anything but be there.
Right.
The relationship happens if we let it, if we are quiet and stay out of the way.
You know, it used to be in the old days where as a mother or father aged, they aged at home with their son and daughter and the grandkids, and sometimes even the great-grandkids. And the youngsters grew up with Grandma and Grandpa and the knowledge that Grandma and Grandpa had to share with them. We don't see that as much these days.
And it wasn't about telling them stuff. It was about just being present, as I said, being present with one another.
What bit of advice can you give to a caregiver listening to us right now who genuinely is trying to help someone they love, but they feel at times that they're just at wit's end? What do you say there?
I think it's somewhat like grief. We have to accept the changes. We cannot fix people. We can't fix the person whose memory is changing, but we can be present with them, and we can go to a support group where other people understand. And I think that's what Rhonda and I see every month in the Fulton Caregiver Support Group, is that we share with one another our stories, because that's what the grandparents always did,
right,
was share their stories, and that's what happens in a support group.
And when you're with a support group, you realize that if you are caring for someone who is dying, that you have to accept that dying process. You have to embrace the dying process. And you will come out of it okay. I remember when my mother was dying, it was hard for a while for me to accept the fact that she was dying. But then when I did...
You could walk the walk, is what I call it.
Yes.
And all you have to do is be there and walk the walk with them. You don't have to fix or change, and sometimes that's heavy. The helpline that the Alzheimer's Association offers, the 800-272-3900, has care consultants that will guide you to specific issues that you're facing and help you with that. But I think it's one-on-one. It's
Right.
where we are.
Okay, give that number again, if you will, Lois.
The helpline for the Alzheimer's Association is 800-272-3900.
3900. And whether you are a caregiver for someone with Alzheimer's or any other end-of-life disease, you can call that number, and they will help
refer you to a local like support group.
Okay. All right. Lois Long, thank you so much for coming by, and thank you so much for the poem, An Invitation. You wrote that.
Yes.
And I will keep this because I know at one point I will need to pull this out and read it. All right?
Thank you.
You're welcome. 800-272-3900. 3900 is the number to call for assistance. We're out of time for today. See you tomorrow. pepperpmissouri.edu. Bye-bye.